Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to be doing something that I should have probably done 10 years ago, which is make a video dedicated to brush cleaning, about how I clean my brushes, which is probably different than most people. But I'm going to show you how it works, why it works, and some of the things that you probably should not do when it comes to cleaning your brushes, specifically using baby oil, which is what I use. All right, let's go over here and show you. As far as cleaning a brush goes, this is just about worst case scenario right here. That is a 2-inch brush saturated with Prussian blue oil paint. That is the hardest brush to clean probably, because it's just so big. There's just so much in it. So first thing I do is, let me start with the paper towels. I've got just a couple of layers of folded paper towel on my table here, and I use the expensive ones. Use high quality, expensive paper towels because they absorb so much better. If you use a towel that's more paper than towel, then you're going to use 10 times as much. You won't save any money, but worse than that, you'll waste a ton of time. Get the expensive paper towels. That's my first tip. Second tip, I've got my bucket here, and I've got a screen down at the bottom, just like you would use with paint thinner. But instead of paint thinner, that is mineral oil or baby oil. Now there's the baby oil I'm using today. This is just the cheap stuff, the Dollar General brand, I guess. It doesn't have to be anything specific, just unscented, regular baby oil. So I've got my 2-inch brush. Now, just like if that was paint thinner, which it's not, baby oil in there, you would, either way, you would take your brush and you would wipe it out as well as you could on a paper towel. Now, here's the first question that I get when I tell people, oh, I clean with baby oil. They say, how are you washing the brushes in between? Well, the answer is I'm not. Look, I've got tons of brushes to use. But if I run out, which does happen, or if you just wanted to paint with just, a small and a big, you don't want multiples, but I do recommend multiples if you're going to be serious about painting. But if you're just playing around and all you have is one, all you do is you just take and you wipe it off on a high quality paper towel. You use 2 or 3. This is the secret I think most people mess up on, is they don't use enough paper towels. They rely too much on the oil and not enough on the paper towels. The paper towels are really just as big of a deal. So I use circular motion. None of this will take forever. Circular motions and grind that brush. You're not going to hurt the brush. It's actually good. This is a fairly brand new brush, I think. So it kind of helps some of the bristles that are going to fall out anyways to go ahead and fall right out on my paper towel. So that's not a bad thing to do when you get a brand new brush. So this is my 3rd paper towel. Now remember, I went from thick saturated, and you can actually see the color of the brush begin to change. See how it's lightening? The dark blue, look black, is now looking more like blue and white because I'm removing most of it. How do you know when it's clean? You can actually take, a lot of the times you can take and flip your paper towel upside down. Well, you know when it's quote clean and ready to paint with? If I was doing a painting, I'd say right there. If I needed to do a lighter color, that's probably good. If I was doing something different, then you would, like if I was going into yellow and painting a yellow sky, which that would be pretty abnormal to have a blue brush and then you're going into yellow to paint a yellow sky. If you were doing something like that, you would probably want to just use a different brush. But 9 times out of 10, you can get away with, like if I wanted to make a purple or green or brown, anything, I could do that. And you would never notice that little bit of residual in the brush. But you can just see I'm still going. So you would have to repeat this process over and over again with every brush that you have. So, I admit, this method takes a little bit more work than the paint thinner method, and that also may be where people get thrown off. In the long run, this is a lot healthier. The back of the can is not decorated with warning labels. It's a lot safer. Okay, I'm going to do one more paper towel. I think, what is that, 5 or 6 that I've done? That brush is beginning to come really, really clean. I'm getting very, very little discoloration anymore. See, that is a lot better than, let me show you what it was to begin with. We went from that to that, just wiping it. And honestly, that thing is ready to paint with easily. But if you want to clean it, if you're all done for the day, here's how you clean it. You take and dip into your baby oil. Just dip. I like to squeegee out the excess right there on the side. Then I come over here and I just drag it like this. What this is doing is it's just thinning the paint, loosening the paint, just like you would paint thinner. The difference is that this takes a lot more paper towels. So that's it. I've got to go again with another layer. And I just get all of that worked out. Now that's close. That's close. I'm going to take now and I'm going to begin to go up and down in my bucket on the screen. And what that does is it loosens up the paint that's deep in the brush that I couldn't get on the paper towel. And now I'm going to dry it again. And you'll see that it comes out quite a bit cleaner on my paper towel. Quite a bit clean. Now we're starting to look actually very clean. I'm going to continue to use circular motion. Everything needs to be done with circular motions for these. Now, if you're going to clean a synthetic brush, I'll typically do more of a side to side. But if you're cleaning the natural brushes, circular motion is where it's at, because the paint doesn't hold as well into the synthetic brushes as it does the natural hair brushes. Now I'm going to fold these up and get rid of them. And I'm going to bring in another fresh paper towel, and I'm just going to make sure that this thing is good and dry. I'm going to get as much oil as I can out of that brush. There's a layer of 2. I mean, I am just going to squeegee it like so. Apply pressure, applying downward pressure here where the bristles meet the ferrule. What that will do is it'll suck out any of the oil that's trapped there. You can actually see it there on the paper towel. In fact, look, there's some old whatever was in my brush previously. Now, this is the part where it's a little bit controversial. Technically, there's a little bit of baby oil in this brush. Is it enough to hurt anything? No, I've been doing this 10 years, at least 10 years, if not more, not probably more than that. I've never, ever had it damage the paint, cause the paint not to dry. Never had a problem. However, one thing that you can do to really be sure that everything's going to be okay is to go ahead and take, I'm just going to get rid of these. Again, you go through a lot of paper towels, but that's the trade-off to not using the toxic paint thinner. If you want to use just 2 or 3 paper towels, use the paint thinner, but use it outside, please, and be very careful with it. So the brush is dry for the most part. Now, one nice thing about the baby oil is it does condition the brush. It'll never cause them to flare out. Another thing I need to mention is people will try to use those, either the homemade brush cleaners where they have like soap and this and that added in, or else they'll try to use the citrus cleaners. Neither one of those will preserve the shape of the brush because they have water in them. You got to use something that does not have water if you want to preserve the shape of the brush. Any water comes in contact with this brush and it'll destroy the shape. It'll go out like this. And I've got a video on how to fix it, but you're better off just not letting the brush contact water. So the way that I finish is I'll lay 3 or 4 layers of paper towel just like I did. And I'll take maybe like my shop towels or something. I'll lay them here. I'll stand my brushes up like that. So I'll have, at the end of the day, my palette or my table will look exactly like that. And then that's it. Turn off the lights and go do something else. And then when you come back the next day, any leftover oil that's in that brush will have absorbed and wicked into the paper towel, and that brush will be totally perfect without any traces really of baby oil. But as it is, I would paint with that. I would paint with that right now and not worry about it. It would be fine. Guarantee it would be fine. But if you are concerned, even if you're not concerned, it's important to leave them like this with the just with a slight angle on a stack of 2 or 3 expensive paper towels. Well, hopefully this video has answered any questions that you might have when it comes to washing up your brushes with baby oil. Obviously, you could still use paint thinner. I've used it, but you just got to use it outside. I have to use it outside because I don't want anything toxic in my house around the kids or anything else. And I think most people probably feel the same way. The other thing I need to address, which I forgot, was how some people complain, actually a lot of people complain about getting headaches because of the fumes and because of the toxic nature of oil paint. Well, the Gamblin paint, the 1980 paint that I use, the colors that I use are completely non-toxic. There's literally like 3 ingredients in normal oil paint, which is just, and this includes the Gamblin, which is literally the oil, the marble dust, which is just a filler, and your pigment of whatever color you want it to be. That's it. That's the ingredients. So there's nothing toxic in the paints that I use. And any fumes or anything that's gassing off that would be toxic would be your paint thinner or your solvents, or if you're using any kind of mediums, that would be toxic. I like to stick to non-toxic mediums and non-toxic paints, and of course the baby oil to clean. And everything smells good in here. It smells normal. I've never had a headache ever while painting because of fumes or anything like that. So it just works out. So hopefully this has helped you, and I will see you in the next painting video, which will of course be a painting. Thanks for watching. Well, Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe if you're not already, and click the like button. That helps me out a lot. Stick around, watch a couple more videos, and stay inspired.